All the black people voted for Trump have one like major thing in common: no education, no higher education whatsoever, not completed. And
well, you're already starting this video off wrong. I just voted for Trump, and I have a degree in finance.
So we all know the election has gone the way it's gone. Donald Trump is now the 47th president-elect of the United States of America. But one voting bloc in particular is getting a lot of heat, and that is black men. Black men are being blamed on TikTok and every other social media site for once breaking and voting with their interests, breaking from the group and voting with their interests. This has ignited a backlash that we knew was coming, obviously. And this black woman learns a very valuable lesson about spouting off at the mouth about black men. Because as many people as think black men are worthless and lazy and shiftless and don't know what they're doing, there's just as many black men that are informed voters and know exactly what they were doing when they cast that ballot for Donald Trump. It says all the black men voting for Trump have one major thing in common.
all the black people voted for Trump have one like major thing in common: no education, no higher education whatsoever, not completed. And education ain't everything, but it's a lot. Ask a black man why he's voting for Trump, and he gonna say something dumb like, he's helping the economy, but when you ask him to expand, like, that's the end of it. He's helping the economy. How? And they can't say nothing else. He just pulling. Ask one. Ask a local black man in your hometown why he's voting for Trump, and watch the bullshit that come out his mouth. What did 50 Cent say to Floyd Mayweather? Ask a black Trump supporter to read a page from a Harry Potter book. I dare you. And then come back to this post and tell me what the response is, because they all have that one thing in common, I swear.
Okay, so this is somebody who assumes that they are very educated and that they know exactly what's going on politically. That's interesting. Well, sometimes social media has a way of, this video has 2 million views, and sometimes social media has a way of instant karma. You know what that is? That's when something like at the snap of a finger comes back and slaps you in the face. When you say something like that, you're trying to do harm to black men as not being informed, as not educated. When obviously, traditional education can sometimes be overrated. Let's be honest. I mean, you got a degree, so helping you any more than other people. Plus, there's people that are successful beyond measure that have never been to anybody's college. But it's interesting when people actually see your video and they got time. Oh, they got time.
All the black people voted for Trump have one like major thing in common: no education, no higher education whatsoever, not completed. And
Well, you're already starting this video off wrong. I just voted for Trump, and I have a degree in finance. And I got my degree in finance while playing football at the school you support. But I'm going to let you continue.
And education ain't everything, but it's a lot.
Coming from someone who has an education, it's overrated.
What is that? OU? Oh, this guy actually went to your same school and actually played football for the team you're rooting for. And guess who he voted for?
While playing football at the school you support. But I'm going to let you continue.
And education ain't everything, but it's a lot.
Coming from someone who has an education, it's overrated. In many cases, it is highly overrated. But anyway, she was saying,
Ask a black man why he's voting for Trump, and he gonna say something dumb like, he's helping the economy, but when you ask him to expand, like, that's the end of it. He's helping the economy. How?
You're so dumb. You don't know expound versus expand.
How? And they can't say nothing else.
well, I'm glad you asked. There are a multitude of ways he helps the economy. One way is by decreasing regulation. The less regulation you have, the more businesses can actually produce. Meaning they're not paying as much money for regulatory burdens. They're not waiting on the regulators to stamp a bunch of paperwork that could take them weeks at a time. Nor are they paying the same amount of fees and penalties from regulators. So he wants to decrease regulation. He wants to increase our oil and gas production. Here are some things that require oil and gas in their production. Or they have petroleum in their base materials. Plastic water bottles, toothbrushes, clothing, chewing gum, detergents, deodorant, lip balm, makeup, plastic bags, sunglasses, candles, dish soap, tires, shampoo, credit cards, hand lotion, electrical cords, eyeglass lenses, furniture upholstery, medical supplies. This isn't even talking about vehicle manufacturing or home construction. With vehicles, you have the plastic components, you have the tires, you have the paint and coatings, you have the fuel and lubricants, you have the foams and upholstery, you've got electronics. All of those use petroleum in some way or have petrochemicals. When it comes to home construction, you've got insulation, piping, roofing materials, paints and varnishes, flooring, windows and doors, structural adhesives, appliances, and electronics. So the higher oil and gases, the more expensive those things are. Now, that's not...
Damn, that boy cooking. That boy cooking right now.
Varnishes, flooring, windows and doors, structural adhesives, appliances, and electronics. So the higher oil and gases, the more expensive those things are. Now, that's not even including the oil and gas it takes to actually physically get the material to the plant or to the location where they're building the house. They use oil and gas to produce it. They use oil and gas to power the factories that produce these products. Then they use oil and gas to move these products to their end location to where they can actually be put together and create a product. So when he talks about deregulation and drastically increasing our oil and gas output, yeah, that's going to help the economy. We will be more productive and things will be cheaper. Now let's talk about something a lot of people don't talk about, the global supply chain. Under Trump, there was peace. Russia wasn't invading Ukraine, and we didn't have the conflicts going on in the Middle East that we do today. The Houthis were not attacking shipping lanes. The Russians and these organizations in the Middle East could smell Biden and Harris's weakness, which is why they've been acting the way they've been acting. So due to this administration's weakness, there are global shipping routes that are now compromised. There are wars being fought in different parts of the world. 10% of global commerce goes through the Suez Canal. The way into the Suez Canal is through the Red Sea. Just so you're aware, this here's the Red Sea, okay? You go up through here, and then the Suez Canal is here. So when an organization is launching rockets at ships that try to go through the Red Sea, these commercial ships will then avoid the Red Sea and have to go around. And when I say around, I mean around all of Africa, which drastically increases the cost for shipping, which then increases your everyday cost of goods. Not to mention, Trump wants to lower the corporate tax rate, which incentivizes businesses from around the world to have their businesses in the US. And it disincentivizes US businesses to go abroad to get lower tax rates. That is good for the US economy. It keeps businesses here and it invites businesses to come here. It's always so interesting to me how Black women will come out in the public and just degrade Black men. They act as if they're superior, they're better, they're smarter. Yep. Like the degradation towards Black men is just oozing out of that video. So then she receives a comment on that video and makes a video in response to that comment. Here's that comment. This individual said to her, "Can we hear why you voting for Kamala and what she did for the economy? Other than it's a Black female and also likes ratchet music. Come on now." So
they never have an answer for that. They never have an answer for that. So basically you're wrong all the time. Just because you've made an informed decision, and this guy obviously has done his research, he knows exactly what he's talking about. He's got a degree in finance, and he's spitting the facts. But when you ask them for something in return, yeah, I don't know, Joy, yeah, she ain't got no reason.
You voting for Kamala and what she did for the economy, other than it's a Black female and also likes ratchet music. Come on now. So she was asked about Kamala and the economy. He then responds with a 4-minute video talking about Trump and how evil and racist and bigoted and bad Trump is. He's making fun of Black men for not being able to articulate Trump and the economy. But then when she's asked about Kamala and the economy, she can't articulate it.
Ain't that always the case? Ain't that always what happens? Boy, she can't articulate any of her points. Just a feeling, a hunch, a vibe. See, this is part of the problem we got going on now. This is what you moving off of vibes. Somebody's telling you something they came to logically, and you're not understanding why they're making that decision, and so you're just against it without any type of taking 1 second to actually listen to what Black men are saying. To listen. It's crazy, man. See, this is part of the problem. This is part of the problem with the community, if I'm honest. It's on display this week. We get to see it all the time, but we don't get to see the root causes of why things are the way they are. When did it become cool to not listen to your men? What other community is that a thing? That is the extreme form of disrespect. And to think that you're running something over these men by default is ridiculous. But he getting in her ass right now. So I'm gonna let him cook.
She literally spends 4 minutes not talking about the economy. Why are you voting for Kamala? And she starts talking about Trump. Again, that is their number one play. It's not to talk about the policy. It's to fearmonger about Donald Trump. They know the American people's lives have not gotten better under their leadership, so they have to fearmonger about Trump being an evil, orange, racist boogeyman. It's crazy because, again, she tries to make fun of black men not being able to articulate positions on the economy and Trump, but when she's asked to do it, she can't do it either. Not doing it and then seeming to have a superiority complex is crazy work. Some people need to humble themselves.
Fired her up, man. He fired her up. But this ain't over yet. Of course, she had to make a response to this video. You know, this is the sad thing about it. She can't admit defeat. There's such an ego. There's such pride here. Even after the win now, it's so many people that are just unwilling to actually examine what happened, to examine their views and where they could have made a wrong decision. But it's okay. They're going to learn.
Raid black men. They act as if they're superior, they're better, they're smarter.
Hello, Jeff. Long time no see. I'm going to keep this short and simple.
If you don't see it right there, do we need to go any further? That seems to be the marching orders that were given out. You know, some people have their own minds and they make their own decisions, but some people, obviously, like the Steve Harveys and the D.L. Hugleys and people that are members of, you know, other fraternities, sister and brother organizations, they had their marching orders and they didn't care. I'm gonna give her a softball interview. I'm gonna give her a lob so she can dunk. What type of media is that? If you got somebody who has the opportunity to interview a presidential candidate and they don't ask them the hard-hitting questions, just don't do the interview if that's the case.
Long time no see. I'm gonna keep this short and simple and flat out tell you I don't know what the hell you were talking about. Okay? And I'm not a fan of talking.
Oh, so who's uninformed? Who is uninformed for real now?
About things that I don't have an expertise in. Like, it's okay for me to say, I don't know what you're talking about. You had me up until we got to Red Sea. When we started getting into Red Sea and logistics, that's where I was just like, all right, I don't know where he's at right now. So I'm gonna jump to what you said at the beginning with the logistics and the businesses. Though how you mentioned those businesses, like all that you said was correct. But this is correct for big businesses. This is not for small businesses at all. I'm not able to speak on some of the things that you.
This chick, she just said she wasn't going to speak on something she doesn't know, but how is she talking about this has anything to do with any size business? And obviously she doesn't know anything about business. He's talking about supply chain. Yes, it's going to impact everybody. It's going to impact whether you own a business or not. Plus, it's going to impact large businesses and small businesses. He's talking about oil production. He just broke down what products are made with oil, with petroleum. And you're still arguing with him? Ain't no helping you.
Small businesses at all. I'm not able to speak on some of the things that you said later on in the video because I'm not knowledgeable in that department. But so because of that, I have to go off of the messenger. And due to the history of the messenger, I can't take all of that for granted and just believe that because you said it, that's just.
So here come the personal attacks, obviously. Since they actually know each other, somebody from her school that she's probably wasn't able to interact with much, I'm guessing.
That's correct. You are the same man that tried to get me to participate in your pyramid scheme a short year ago. You pulled out a whole presentation deck and presented for, I want to say, 45 minutes to an hour. And at the end, I asked you, I said, so basically this is a pyramid scheme and it only works if you and I get other people.
So there are mixed views on pyramid schemes. I'm not the biggest fan of pyramid schemes, but there are some pyramid schemes that are actual businesses that if you get into the business early enough, if you're at the top of the pyramid, it's actually beneficial for you and it can be a good business. Plus, it gives people business experience that don't have it or won't be able to go out and get a job in a field like that. Gets you sales skills. There's a lot of decent things. Like I remember even selling knives. I did that one time, the Cutco company. I went to the meeting and everything. And I ultimately didn't do it long term, but it did offer me an opportunity to go door to door and figure out how to get these knives sold to people. You know what I mean? Like, so just writing him off because he was part of a pyramid scheme, that's a low blow. And it's also that's petty. You know what I mean? It's just petty. So you want to throw that up into this conversation now because, oh, I'm going to expose him. That's what happens on TikTok all the time. I want to expose somebody. So go ahead, continue exposing.
So because that you are the messenger and that was my last interaction with you, I can't take what you said as like fact. Like it would.
Even if he's right, even if he's 100% right, she can't take that information. You see the stubbornness here?
As like fact. Like it would take me some time to actually do research to check and make sure that what you said is whether it's true or not. I would have to verify.
Google is on the phone that you're recording on. You could have done the research while you were in the car before you made this video because you came in uninformed and you're looking crazy.
What you said, basically. So because I'm not knowledgeable on most of what you said, I'm going to jump to the part that I do know. So because you and me know each other vaguely, we both went to college together, I'm going to speak on the part that you said, that I quoted about the black women and how we disrespect black men, et cetera, et cetera. You were a black football player at the University of Oklahoma who has never, and still to this day, has never dated a black woman before.
How do you know? How do you know what that man does in his spare time? You're just going off of his reputation at the school. But what does that matter? Does that even matter in this conversation? It really doesn't. It's her grasping for straws. It's the only thing she has. And this is what the arguments devolve into all the time. This is the only thing she has to go on.
You did nothing but disrespect black women all throughout college and acted like you were better than us.
Wow.
You made comments about us consistently in front of your white girlfriends. I don't know if that was because you truly believed the comments that you said or if it was because, to make your white girlfriend at the time feel better. But that's who you are. So I really don't care to hear criticisms from you about how black women treat black men when you are one of those black men that treats black women and has said negative things about black women out loud. And
now she's a victim. She's a victim of Jeff from Oklahoma in college. He said things. She's not being very specific here on purpose, obviously. I bet you it wasn't anything serious, anything more than, college conversation back and forth. What did he do? Target them some kind of way? I doubt it. There would have been a huge case about it, right? Discrimination.
Acted like you were better than everybody at Oklahoma. I don't date black girls. I don't
opinion.
Deal with black girls. They're ratchet and ghetto, blah, 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 blah. Like, those were comments that came out of your mouth, at the university. And if we went back and...
Were y'all twerking? I mean, because, if you were twerking, that kind of validates. Never mind.
Pulled from we can ask your fellow football players. We can, call Baker Mayfield. Call Orlando Brown. Call CeeDee Lamb. People didn't like you because you...
Man, that team was stacked too, man. I didn't think about that. That was a good team.
Your pretentious attitude. So don't come on TikTok with this whole new personality. Well, you still act the same. And try to portray to strangers that black women did something to you. Because they may have. I'm not doubting that black women did anything to you, but it wasn't because you didn't give them a reason to.
No, he's talking about what you just did to all of us. Just lowered us to the lowest common denominator. We're all ignorant, stupid. And you got a football player here who went to the exact same school you did. And he's telling you this. And instead of taking the lesson, you're still fighting. You're still arguing with him. That doesn't make any sense.
That, how you act is That's how you acted all through college. And if we went back and we asked any of the players on your team, they would say they didn't like you because of comments that you made towards black people in general, but more specifically towards black women. But you used to talk down on black women and black men because the people that you were talking down on were on said football team. So wrap up the act. Like, wrap it up.
That's basically somebody that lost an argument. They have to resort to the same tactics. Basically, they're a victim. Their victim status. You talked about us in school. People were 19 years old. You still thinking about that? And you had a white girlfriend. So what? So what? The point is, you came out here and you're so comfortable to come out here on this internet and talk trash about black men. You could take him completely out of the equation, but he was the one that responded to you and who has a platform on TikTok and is able to really get into you because he actually has interacted with you. He actually knows who you are. So I just thought that was interesting. And I think what we're going to have to handle here is the slander's got to stop. 100% it's got to stop. I don't care who you are, but I don't know how, if I was to come on here and just bash black women, like my platform would be at risk. But for some reason, you got these women on TikTok that can come on here and say, ninjas ain't ish. Here's an example of one, actually. I found one on another video, which I'm believing she recently deleted, but this was her response right after the election.
I know some of you out there voted for Trump because I know it wasn't black women. I know when the results come out, it's going to show that like 99.8%, because there's a 0.2% maybe of black women that might have voted for Trump. But it's going to show 99.8 voted for Kamala. But I know when them polls come out and it show how black men voted, I know y'all gonna disappoint us once again. Y'all always letting us down. Y'all the most disappointing ass race of niggas I have ever seen in my life. My God. Oh my God. Like the amount of ignorance. Like I don't want to hear shit from nobody about the economy. I don't want to hear shit about nothing. Y'all don't know how economy works. Y'all don't know how civics, none of that shit work. Like y'all clearly don't know how none of this shit work. Like y'all don't know nothing how none of that shit work. Like we are going to be so up. We about to be so up. Like I'm trying not to be mad. Like we about to be so up. Like I'ma just pray that I go to sleep tonight and my God is a miracle worker in the morning. And something happened, and I don't know. Late polls, late ballots, I don't know. Where is Olivia Pope? She gonna pull something, I don't know. Something's going to happen, and Kamala's gonna be president. You still gonna be done let us down, but again, black women save the day, and all will be well in the world again. But I stand on how I feel, and I can't stand y'all. Word of God, I know y'all voted for Trump. And I'm talking about the ones that voted for Trump. And I'm not talking about y'all that didn't vote for Trump. If you stood down, 10 toes down, and you voted for Kamala, I love you, my black brother, and I'm going to always have y'all back. But for y'all Trump supporters, if y'all get shot in the street, I won't be marching, posting, retweeting, not a god thing. I swear to God. Now you have the night you deserve.
I mean, honestly, I don't know what your tweeting and posting did to stop those black men from being killed. But to think that you would take somebody's civic duty, something that they, as a personal decision for them, and then use that as a reason to retaliate against them or to talk about them this way, it's ridiculous. And you see, black men really don't complain about this, but this is an ongoing thing. There are thousands of videos like this. There are thousands of women saying similar things, and they don't get any type of pushback or any type of repercussions for doing that. Because it's ironic that this woman says this type of thing, and she's one of the very people educating our youth.
Go to class. Do not go back out that door. If I have to chase you, you going home for 3 days. Where are Miss Williams? If I have to come out that door, Go to class. Now, this your first day back in school. This is y'all chance for redemption after y'all done wasted your whole first semester. It's a new semester, new teachers. Get it together. I expect better out of you.
So she's in school hollering at the students. I don't know if this is tough love. I don't know if she saw too many, she had too many viewings of Lean On Me, but I don't know what this is, screaming at kids in the hallway and recording it to get the attention and clout from it. That's ridiculous. But this is what we have here. This is another thing Donald Trump talked about. Department of Education. Are our children being educated in the way they need to be? When the black males that you are critical of are sometimes reading on a third grade level in high school, is there something wrong? Is our system broken? Does something need to change? I think it would. And we might want to start with this young lady here, because this is what she thinks of the men of her community. This is what is permeating throughout her work, her career choice. We didn't tell you to be a teacher if you have these thoughts and views of people who might have a difference in political opinion than you. But this is what you wanted to put on display for the world. And so let's just show it to the world. But anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you want to watch more, please watch one of these videos down below. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. The link is in the description. That way you can stay up to date on all things Faucette Media. You can find out where I'm going to be, what platform I'm going to be on, and I can get you those videos that are not being sent through the algorithm. This is Faucette Media.